You see, the narcissist, our favorite subject matter, but I don't think it's the narcissist. That's very non-existential. We have two types of embodiments to look into here, and I don't like to pick on anybody or anything, um, but there is an issue happening. There can be, since there's two different types of embodiments, which one comes from one has a garden and the other one has a garden. And one, see, one garden comes from the fully encapsulated mind, and the other one comes from the heart. Resonation. Resonation. Resonation is the same as uh, agree. When people say agree, and it's the truth, really what you mean is, I resonate with that. Pardon me while I go adjust my fire. But see, keep that, get that into your mind. Now, resonation isn't very explained, and I can demonstrate resonation just by, well, I guess I can just tune up one of my guitars that I don't play. My acoustic guitars, they're not very nice acoustic guitars, so they don't really pull the music out of me that I know that can come out. What happens with a musical instrument is that when you press, it depends on how good it's made. It has to be a very well-made musical instrument, and then when you give it to press it against a musical person, that instrument pulls music out of that musical person. It's an instrument that pulls music out from a musical place, which is a person. And resonation can be demonstrated quite easily. It's happening everywhere, though, and musicians unconsciously or consciously, but they're aware of this. That it's unconscious. I mean, it's talk about the unconscious mind. People don't know what that is. I mean, there's three kinds of minds to be aware of: the unconscious mind, the conscious mind, and the subconscious. Right? The conscious mind is where we're all just hung up, and it's really a problem, to tell you the truth. It's one of the biggest problems we're going to run into. If we have to acknowledge it as a problem and solve it, and then even then, there it is. It's this floaty thing out in the ocean, or in reality here, it's consciousness. I want you to understand. See, the unconscious mind is just unawakened information yet, that's really what's governing. If you look at especially our bodies and how we can become unconscious about some things, that is remarkable. It's like, wait a minute, you didn't mean to do that. I mean, but you can bring it into consciousness. That's what athletes are doing with their skill of their bodily capabilities. They are able to just catch something with not even looking at their hand, and it pretty soon it becomes boom. They are, that's very much the unconscious mind that I'm talking about. The one the eyelid will close the moment a fly is almost trying to get in there. It's happened with me. I mean, a big fly or something. And it's like, if my eyelid did not close, my eyeball would have been harmed. And it's like, I didn't even try that, but it happened on its own. And it's like, imagine if you can bring that up into consciousness. Now you are a superhero, and really, I mean, you don't have to bring it into consciousness because it's already there as the unconscious mind. See, that's where you relax. See, a lot of people don't know the subject matter, so I'm speeding it through really quick. Because a lot of people think that unconscious means, and there is a form of unconscious when you get hit upside the head with a 2x4 and you're laying there, and now we're trying to bring you back into reality, which is full on consciousness, consciousness is just things, floaty things that has happened like a wave. You're out in the ocean is the unconscious mind, and there's the depth from where all of these little waves are coming, and that's consciousness. The waves are like, hey, and looks back at the massive ocean and everything else and says, whoa, and then goes back down, becoming conscious of itself and then going back down. Just an expression. Don't hang on to it, and don't think that you have anything to do with it. If it's a great divine expression, it's coming from that unconscious place. It's just awakened now. If you notice the word unconscious versus conscious, there's only just the un there that says, well, it's unawakened yet. It doesn't mean that it's not there, and we're not talking about having just been hit upside the head by a 2x4. Anyway, thanks for listening to that. There's the unconscious mind, the conscious mind, and then the subconscious mind. Now, the unconscious mind has to do, I would argue, I mean, that's not an argument, babes, it's just we're going to, so I'm one of these kinds of people who likes to sit and talk about this stuff. That's why I'm here alone. I have nobody to talk to. I was thinking about, does anybody like to talk about consciousness in this town, and can we have a meeting every Friday? And that would be the most dangerous thing, really, because if you're an artist, really, you are probably interested in it because you can intertwine all of these things. The arts, they dial you into higher consciousness. Really, the unconscious mind that has this capability, and it can help you with your subconscious too. Just mastery of some kind of art in general is going to cause meditation. How did you like that last video? Fuck. It's none of my business, even though I am fully embodied sexuality. We don't talk about it. It's like one of those things we especially don't talk about it. You don't need to. It speaks for itself. And hi, how are you today? We're not going to talk about politics, though. That can't speak for itself. But now it's going to do what is called karmic retribution. I'll put that video up right here. So will your religious values and even your education. By the way, that's all kind of mixed up in there, political, and you're turned into something that's doing somebody else's bidding. And there's a point where you have to think on your own, but you don't choose to think on your own, and it results in treating what, how. Well, usually it's right now. I mean, it's if you look at it. People are just trying to survive here and get their sovereignty on to where it's like, well, and you can hardly do that. You figure out, like, if you figure how to clean water in your own neighborhood and redistribute it to people free, just say, hey, let's do this collectively in my neighborhood. You could just collect the water. If it's off your off your roof or whatever it is, let's learn to purify it and turn it into purity to where you can shut off the water company for how many months doing that, and then choose to re-up on it. I don't know, but really show them that you don't need their spigots. They, showing them, whoever they are, they will come in with some guns until you shut your operations down and give you every excuse why you can't do that, and there's hardly anything you can do. And when I say hardly, there is something you can keep doing. This is the only thing to do here, is just try to figure out, okay, I like being alive here and figuring out how to live. I don't want to be stuck in a box and then fed poisons and then ran around the goddamn maze. Not really. So is there some way you gotta just now what do? You go to court. Those courthouses should be full of people right now saying, do you know that this whole system needs to be changed up of the people that are here trying to give us an example? They should be able to give us an example by way of their lives lived as to what they are coming and doing and reinforcing codes over. But no, you got fat slobs coming down trying to tell you that why? Because you're complaining and doing quality control against some things that are happening. This is exactly what's happened, and this is a phenomenon. It's like, did somebody notice this? Like a old judge inside the courtrooms, they'll see more and more. Oh, now straight up, criminals are high end criminals, which are when they talk about the ones who wear a necktie, they got a lot of money. Um, are in there bringing in the innocent people who are trying to survive and stuff and winning cases, and that's what's happening. And we plead our case. When we go in there, we say, oh man, I was just trying to do this and it was like this, and they try to communicate this way and I thought it was going this way. And the one with the necktie on has a, a suitcase full of lies and also tells all kinds of lies, and it's like, oh God, oh whoa, oh, you learn a lot when you go through the system and you look in there and you see how that now you're gonna see, this is where I'm at now. Thanks for listening to this, but I'm going to do this for us all. I don't know if anybody's ever done this, but it's for us all. They haven't sent me a second notice yet. I haven't sent this in yet, though. I think, well, how do we know that I even live there and stuff like that, for doing jury duty. It's 100% against my daily practice, values, my life um, standard for living as the living to do jury duty. Um, because, well, I did go through it a little bit, and I see why now 100% I can't get involved with it because of the way that they make us believe, and they tell us to swear in the name of God, even that we can tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I understand their efforts there, but the truth is that it's not the bottom line about telling things. If you want to know the truth about that, you want to go in there and tell the truth about it, is that you can't tell the truth. The truth is an experience that goes beyond words and symbols, and it happens in reality. It can't reform itself on anybody's lips. It doesn't come out of anybody's mind through a lip gesture, no matter what amount of mouth noising. This is unfortunate for the narcissist. You know, this is where you give the narcissist their life, their fake life, is through words. And now, like, you can say the word water and they're going to get wet. And it's kind of fun to some extent, but it's not fun anymore because we see hell forming over a very fake. It's all it is fear. The mind says, I don't want to be, I not only don't, would rather flinch to something that's not real, which is my mind, uh, and making it really big to the point of let's build a massive system over it. I not only don't want to surrender that, but that I am getting wet when I hear water, the word water, that I'm completely schizophrenic. I don't want to work on seeing this truth. And the truth is that the courthouses will take you through to look at it more and more, and it'll keep going up to higher courts of law. Unfortunately, you probably need money, and it won't take much, though. You don't even need a lawyer. It's going to get to some heavy duty subject matter like what is your name, and you'll say, by the way, I disagree with this that has been appointed to me. I didn't have any choice with my name. I've had a stigma all my life, and hearing when somebody says my name, I think, well, who do you think you're talking to? Because I mean, it's weird because I mean, I'm here now. I have an expression of my being in 3D reality that is much more than what you're saying, and especially what's been written down in black and white in capital letters on a birth certificate. And then what you're collecting as far as the system that I went through and how that you gauge my bodily activity and what kind of a mentality that I am based in. Really, you are now just clubbing me. And you can see some things and we can pull it up, but that has been well hidden. It's kind of hidden and it's not the concern. And really, it's not the what you display as being necessary, which is really, that's my life that you're saying that's not necessary. And I've actually contributed to that piece of shit system that says, oh, yes, we are so-called educating you. It's a babysitting system, by the way, this public schools. They used to be private schools where they taught real people that knew real things. It was discipline. You learned real things in those private schools. Includes the higher up knowledge of learning things. Music would be one, right? It'll look like a church after a while, maybe. Just playing music, centering yourself. The higher learning tool would teach meditation. School would teach meditation. They would expose you to other meditators. The entire campus would look different. And there, it used to be that, and you see it, right? We call it. What do you call it? What do you call these people that are so far removed from the zoo that basically they created? They thought it would be a great idea. How do you like the movie so far? Why is it coming up? Let's check. Where's the planets? I know that we have. See, it's an issue that men and women need to wake up to their human condition. You know, the possibility that there's a human condition um, being manipulated away from its fullest potential. How about that? And until we become human beings, it's just men and women going on their fucking ideals and role playing about that. And boy, is that a fucking problem. Not really. We'll just switch it over to whatever. Men and women, there's how many different sexes now? It's like, what do you mean, babes? Come on. I mean, even I would get caught up in that, getting getting kind of strange. And it's a good thing, get caught up in it and find out what's more real than ever. And I just had a video released in my purple shirt. I made 5 minutes ago. Really, it's 15. Hope you like this one. Getting back into just basic astrology. We have Mercury at the middle of the month is going to go into Taurus. It's going to be very different communications. Get it out now. I'm here to tell you that communicating is the way that you heal yourself and everything else. There is a faction that says, "Oh no, don't say anything and keep it all." It's like, no, I felt so much better. I see. I didn't report it here, but man, this thing happened in my yard where domestic animals killed each other. And they're not my domestic animals. They just got into my yard. What am I going to do about it? But see, it's a new presence on the block, and it happened to be some people that were working downstream. It's not what I thought it was because I matched it up. I saw the big fucking black pit bull terrier dogs, and I heard this breathing sound, and I look over, and they were working there, and I saw that too, and I saw the workers, and they had these dogs. They must have came in early yesterday morning, and as soon as they got out of the car, maybe they ran out, and they just smelled. They went right down my driveway. Dogs will do that. Children will sometimes run down my driveway and go, "Where? Hi!" Like they just arrived, but it's like, "Where are you?" Well, I saw some people looking down my driveway the other day because, well, I know I have three rabbits now, but these two rabbits, they play in figure eights and hop and do the stuff. I want to get it on film. And I've been watching it the past, week. And so these other people, I know that when I was driving up, coming down my driveway, they were gawking down my driveway, and I know that they were looking at that. They were looking at these two rabbits just going, they were stoked. It's calmed down a little bit. So I have a new series of rabbits in my yard, little baby cottontails that are so cute. And the thanks for letting me switch subject matter. You have no choice.